All right, guys. So, do you all know Richard E. Grant?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Legend. I hope.
Yeah. He doesn't have any skeletons. He's all right. He has cut off a 29-year friendship.
Wow.
Because he got forwarded an email where his brethren was chatting shit about him.
Mate.
29 years of friendship, ? What I thought was one of the 5 best friends of my life. She sent an email from Africa to a mutual friend in Australia who'd asked for my email address. And because my name was in the body of the email, I got inadvertently sent this email. And it arrived on a day when I had heard for the 3rd time that a film that I'd written and was about to direct, the finances had collapsed. And I was doing the final episode of Frasier. I got this email that wasn't intended for me to see.
Yeah.
But there was a paragraph of such toxicity. And
About you.
Yeah. And I thought, this person that's not a real friend anymore. And I was absolutely devastated. So I copied and pasted that and then sent it back. And I said, 29 years of friendship, ?
What was it? An annihilation of your character?
It was of my script that I had written, which was
the work
entirely
you'd done.
autobiographical. And she had read this script. Our daughter was very smart because she was 16. So it's exactly 20 years ago. She said to me, in your heart of hearts, haven't you always known this about that person?
Must have been so hard.
Oh,
though,
it was
because
brutal. Because that person knows you in the most formative part of your life, before, when you're still dreaming of getting regular work as an actor, never mind the other things that have happened to me since. So when you're betrayed like that, there's no going back for me.
So I know we always talk about like cutting people off, when to do it, how to do it. I have spoken about, I have cut off a close friend very recently. And I am I'm not going back on it, but I have been thinking, was it the wisest thing to do without a conversation? Then Stephanie, Taki? Taki, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Stephanie Taki is also talking about that she cut off a friendship in her 30s. She has now self-reflected and is like, actually, it was my own insecurities. I was probably a little bit too hasty in doing it. She's in her 40s now. Was she close to? But either way, she is regretting that cutting off or sidestepping, like maybe there are better ways to deal with it. What do you guys think about cutting off? Are you a early cut off a person? Do you keep people around longer than they should be? Like, what's your take on this?
I never feel it's necessary to like cut people off unless it's a heinous crime that they've committed. You will notice that our interactions change. You will notice that, I'm not calling you like that anymore. But yeah, I feel like there's something in actively cutting someone off. I don't want you to even have the satisfaction that you can go around and say, he's cut me off. I'm just not even going to give you that. So it's you're going to be over there. We're never really going to interact. And it's fine. I'm good.
Yeah. Cutting off. I'm terrible at cutting. I'm getting better in my old age. But yeah, I'd try and make it work to the bitter end. But actually, when someone actually pisses me off, I had to have a conversation with someone recently because there's someone that was a friend when in my 20s and we were close. And then I remember having a conversation with that person and realizing it was one way. Like they knew everything about me. I knew nothing about them. And I felt very insecure in that moment because that person was also known as a bit of a elaborate and a bit of a gossip. So I'm like, what are you saying? Because there's no transaction where I got stuff on you. And not that I think of relationships like that. But then if you don't trust me, but I'm trusting you, there's an imbalance and I didn't feel safe. So, and I think I bumped into them in later life and one time and they were just gossiping. And I was just like, I don't like this. I don't like you. I'm not going to speak. So they've tried to follow me on Insta.
I know who you're talking about now.
They've tried to
I know who you mean.
Yeah, they tried to befriend me.
And you block them.
And I blocked them
quite harshly.
See, that's a lot of energy for me.
But it's to me, it's like, it's not even energy because you're not going to be in my life. And it's in my head. They don't know. And I've always actually had a rule. If the person doesn't know, it's unfair. But in this moment, to me, it's also, this is a big gap of life. So what I mean to you, I have no idea what I mean to you because of my actions. I think our relationship ineffectively irrelevant. So then something happened and a conversation was had with a mutual and they were like, I don't get it. I've seen her. She acts funny. Like, I wish her the best. I love what she's doing. I'm so proud of her, but there's something wrong. So in me knowing that they actually bothered by it, I then sent a message saying, this is how I felt. And they were like, I'm sorry. And that was it. So it's squash doesn't necessarily mean that we change our dynamics. Maybe next time I see them, I will say hi. But that was my, if I really feel super wronged in that moment, but then I've also allowed people that I've considered friends to stick around for way too long because I find it hard to get rid of them because similar to my male relationships, it's like, maybe we can make it work. And I'm not looking at the red flags, honestly. So I find it hard in some situations.
Go on.
You look at me like you want to fight me. What?
You side.
Very
you
serious
side.
face.
What?
Yeah.
What?
This is serious.
Yeah.
Very serious
It's
face.
very reflecting.
It's reflective.
You know why? Because I feel I've been through different modes of what friends mean.
Mm.
And I have a good core group of like, we're 20-something years in.
Mm-hmm.
I deal with your shit. You deal with mine.
Mm.
And we make it work, right? But we've gone through challenging each other about our behaviors and it's still continued. So I know that it's robust enough to continue. The acquaintance level, I have a system of just like, you need a break. Yeah. I feel like you've misused the access and it's a break.
Yeah.
Cool off. Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes it's really small stuff. Like what I realize is a lot of people say Marvin said, and they use it as a way to get access to things. And I don't know anything about it, right?
Oh.
And so it's different when like your name can open a door and people just use it. Or Marvin told me, or I heard, and I'm like, I have no idea, right?
Yeah.
And then I go to see someone that I know and the energy is different because
Marvin told him.
somebody's got access to something they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that person's like, well, you co-signed them. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
So when people misuse my presence, I give time and space. And I'm trying not to get to a place where I keep cutting everybody off. I think it like genuinely, my personal standards are really, really high. It's uncomfortably high. I just don't think many people can survive it. It just becomes a thing of like, I can spot everybody's bullshit. I think if you grow up in Hackney and you can see everybody and you know how you've been cussed out enough times, I know you're full of shit in advance. I can see you coming, right? So if I start reacting to what I know is coming, I don't allow it to happen. And in that, I'm creating something that didn't exist.
Yeah.
And then I can't hold them to account because it didn't happen yet, right? But I have a strong knowing. I know when you're full. I know. Right. So I think at this point, I'm just trying to be like, you are this, I accept, but you're over there for now.
I think I have cut people off, but I've also distanced myself from people. So it's not like I've cut them off. It's not like we've had an argument and they can go and say, oh, Farah did X, Y, Z. It's like a bit what you said. If I've noticed that there are, or one of you said it, if there are behaviors that are not really aligning to me, or I can see that it's one-sided, then I think or they've done something, I think I can just ease them off slightly a bit, and then it will get to the point where we just don't call each other anymore. But there's no direct argument, and there's no, if I see you on the street, I'll still like say hello, and we'll have a conversation, but I'm not going to put myself out there for you in the same way anymore. I'm not going to
I just think interpersonal relationships are so hard and you never master them. Like I literally have coaching degrees and all these other things, right? But people don't follow the rules. They live in the gray. And that's a massive part of humanity. So whenever I just consider what's their capacity for harm. Some people take from you because they don't have the power to deliver for themselves. That's different to someone taking from you because they're greedy rasses. Do you know what I mean? And so sometimes I have to use discernment. Sometimes I have to be graceful. Sometimes I just don't have the capacity because you don't know what you're taking.
But it's that
you know
part.
What I mean?
You see, like you said, capacity, because I think I've spent a lot of time on friendships, should I say, where I've given all of myself. Like I've invested in this friendship so much that I'm thinking about you before I think about myself. And that can be physically draining. And I have to get to a point where if you're not showing up for me, but I'm like getting sick because I'm trying to show up for you so much, that's not healthy. So you have to get to a point where you're like, actually, this is no longer serving me, so I'm going to step away from this.
But I think then that's about you over-servicing a relationship.
But it's over-servicing a
then-
relationship. No, but it's what they are wanting from me. It's not like I'm just showing, it's what they're expecting from me, should I say.
Yeah, but I think
they are
powerful
requesting.
people get used because they have it, right?
Yeah.
And I think the perception of power is also something that people use. So it's a bit like children do the exact same thing, right? If you say, I'll give you half an hour, but you give them 40, they're taking the 40.
Yeah.
They're not, so, and I
I
think
want
that's,
that 20 more.
yeah. And so I think that's a thing of like you assessing your own boundaries, right? I'm talking about direct me saying no and you taking anyway, right? So that's you crossing a boundary, which is, for me, boundaries about how I want you to stay in my life.
Yeah.
You have to stay within this boundaries for us to have a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And then if that doesn't work, walls get created where blocking comes in and removing. But I try not to get to that space anymore, right? Because I just look at people through their challenges and their harms and their limitations. I really can see them. And it's not my job to fix them or to always have grace. But most of the time, people are taking because they don't have. Like there's a real genuine struggle going on with them. And so
Sometimes, but not all the time. Like
No,
there
oh,
are
no.
friendships where
I've
people
met-
basically take the fucking piss. You know, like you'll talk to them and it's always about them. It's never reciprocal. They like you could be going through fucking drama, but they don't care to ask you about it. And part of having a friendship is for you to be able to
Give and take.
to give and take.
But that has to be cultivated. That's so my view
Yeah,
is
but if you've
right,
been a friend with someone for fucking 30 years and they're not, and it's still the same,
still
you
requires
have to get to a
cultivation.
point, it does, but then you have to get to a point where you're like, is this healthy for me now?
You want to tell us about it?
No, I'm good.
Mental place.
Well, I want to ask Nana again, so where you're feeling kind of like, maybe I didn't. Why didn't you have the conversation before the cut off? And why do you feel now that maybe you should have?
Because it doesn't feel fair.
Okay.
Okay.
And has somebody ever done that to me? I don't know, but I would want that.
What would you want?
That I would, if I'm seeking an answer, I would want the person to be like, for the 30 years that we were friends, I should have an explanation.
Are they seeking an answer?
Yes. And I said,
Oh.
Oh.
so now I feel bad. Like, actually, I would want that for myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should.
That's fair.
But
I think that's fair.
But is
If-
the answer you're gonna give genuinely going to satisfy them, right? Because that's what I say. Sometimes because I've acted before the thing, the answer sounds mad irrational. It doesn't actually help them to understand what happened.
But that's similar. So that's similar to what happened to me recently, and I don't actually care to use Nee's phrase. I don't care if the person that I told how I felt, because it seemed insignificant, and also, and the thing for me is that there's a lot of things in them saying, "I'm so proud of them," all that stuff. It also could, if they examined it, is it because I'm in the public eye and then that by default I'm proud because you've made it out the hood or whatever the case is. But in that respect, it's like, do you really care? This is 20, 30 years later.
Yeah.
We're not in like, if I went to primary school and we never spoke again, there's that. But because, yes, we were friends 20, 30 years ago, but you did something I didn't like. And the only action that I've given is that I'm not giving you the hugs and the love and the thing. If I was just working in Sainsbury's or at a supermarket or whatever, would you still be like, I'm so proud and I want to be your friend? Do you want that validation
not.
because
But
I'm
I
in the
think-
public
yeah,
eye?
I think
That's
person-
what I'm saying. So then in
Yeah.
that respect, me saying, well, the reason why I'm not speaking to you or I'm not bothered with you is because of this. It could be insignificant to them. It could be like, that's a minor, but I don't care.
I
about
just
that.
wouldn't
Also,
explain
but
it to that archetype of person that you're referencing.
But the only
also-
reason, sorry, just
Go
on that, because they sought out an answer, they have. I've seen them have acted off. I'm just like, whatever.
Are you
But
going to repair? Are you going to repair?
I don't know. I don't care because they've asked. They've
No, but
asked. Well, so if they,
listen,
sorry, let
wait.
me just finish. If they had
Go on.
asked for an answer and I'm like, I'm not giving an answer, then that would probably weigh on me because I think that's unfair. And it's a mutual person that they're good friends with still that have said they feel some type of way and they said this to me. So now I have the information.
No.
That's how I'm like, it's okay, but I'm okay. It's not a burden.
You're just
But
engineering gossip.
Sorry,
I
what
wouldn't
I
bother.
was going to say is
I hear.
that sometimes in friendships, you have to acknowledge that what you mean to somebody,
Yes.
they don't mean to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
But
where
also
this
that.
person had built this whole thing around the relationship that they thought they had, you didn't have that relationship with them. So you were able to step away and be like, actually, I don't like what I see. And it's no skin off my nose to talk if I talk to you or I don't.
Exactly.
Whereas they had built up this whole thing of like, but we were so close and we meant so much to each other. And you're like, bruv, it was like 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah. And then
Chill
You
out.
owe them something if they have those feelings.
It's up to you. I think it's up to
I
you.
do think it depends on the
You don't
relationship.
owe them
I
anything.
think it's up to you.
Like if this person, like, okay, I'm going to be honest.
I think
There
you
are
do.
people.
I think it's up
You
to
owe them something.
Do you think so?
I think if you've been friends with someone for 25, 30 years
Yeah.
and you have just cut them off,
Yes.
yeah, I think that's quite violent.
But don't you think it depends on the type of friendship that you had?
They don't know.
Like if that's your best friend, that's your dog.
I think if that's your best friend, that's your dog, and you've cut them off without anything. Especially if they ask, I think you owe
Me too.
respect.
But that's your best friend, that's your dog.
Yeah.
If it's just someone who you don't feel that way about,
If they don't know that you don't feel about
I genuinely feel if
about
they
spaces.
ask,
People are-
Spaces happen
Yeah.
between you, though.
what do you lose
by telling them,
by not?
yeah, agreed.
This is
Because they're not going to interpret it the way that you tell
That's
them.
We don't know that.
That's for them.
But I'm saying for someone like you that creates,
my situation.
so you don't need it.
Okay.
I'm not
Listen,
genuinely.
people who gossip go on world tours and will gossip to everyone around you.
No, I hear
and
that.
make you the enemy, right?
That's true.
It's not like it matters,
Where's it everyone's
but it can
opinion is
create
someone's
your
like-
new
But,
reality. So it's like,
but to me, to be fair, in this situation, and to be fair, that was I don't know what they're like today in regards to how they show up. But also the flip side is they can still be like, rah, she thinks she's nice because she's gone. And I wasn't given the answer because of that. I actually genuinely wasn't. Genuinely, they've been through something. I got the information. I felt like that's always been my personal rule. If I get asked and if I've done that and that someone doesn't know, because I've been like, if I've been on the receiving end of not knowing and I've asked and they don't give me that it bothers me. So I don't want to be the cause of that bother. You can do with it. You can go and put it in a newspaper if you like. But I know that's my truth. That's my honesty. I'm not lying. And if someone thinks it's insignificant or something to gossip about, that's your business. But I've given you the answer. Deal with it. I think. I do think in your situation, is such a big thing. But if someone's asked you a question, if it's weighing on you, then give the answer. If it's not and you don't care because you feel like you don't even deserve that, then be free.
Again, but I think it's because of the relationship. If you were riding or dying with each other and then you've just cut that person off and they genuinely don't understand why and they've reached out to you, it's worth a conversation.
But for me, this is the kind of like social media part of like interpersonal relationship, because it's like, oh, I'm going to explain to you why we're not aligning, and then you're going to receive it and be like, oh my God, I didn't know that I was doing this.
But it could just
Most
be
of the
closure for
time,
both
they're
of
on shaggery anyway, right? If the thing is, if we stop speaking, I know the catalyst, we're not going to do it. It's not going to happen, right? I'll turn up at your job.
Right.
I already do. But the point is, right?
At my job.
The point is like, if we stop speaking and I'm not present as to why, then that's my limitation. I should be present to why.
Not necessarily. Not
Why would you not be present?
Because the person that I wasn't speaking didn't know why.
But the whole point is, her energetic presentation to you is off. So he should know.
No, but they didn't know. And this is also
it's off to you, but not to them.
No, but not necessarily.
What I'm saying is, they're never going to
relationship.
receive what it is that you're
But
explaining
not necessarily.
And I
You
because-
know how I think it's more frustrating to share your truth with someone and them just pretend not to understand because they're hella avoidant.
I hear that.
That type of
But then you
individual isn't like, I want to grow, teach me, tell me, because then
No,
they would
but
have found that ages ago and came and found you and been like, look,
I think
I've
every
not
scenario is-
But I think my caveat on that is that I've cut you off. You've asked me why. I'm entering into the explanation knowing that I'm giving you this explanation because I owe you that. After that,
But I'm saying the owing is an imagination. I don't think you owe anybody.
I feel like I owe you.
So your personal values would create that you would tell them, and even knowing that they're going to misuse that information, right?
But then-
I don't know that. I don't know
Why
that.
do you think
I'm saying likely.
Yeah.
You do get to a place where you're like, do you know what? I've done my part. Is
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is when you're like outside and you're doing your thing, and somebody who is a misinforming gossiper comes to you and asks that they don't know what's happened, right? And they don't know what their way of being was that created the distance. They get the answer. Who's going to turn around and be like, oh, the reason why she's not talking to me is because of me. I got to be better.
But you don't
Nobody
know that,
tells
then.
that story. So
No.
they go tell
Yeah,
every
but that
single
doesn't mean-
person
That doesn't
that
mean.
you're A, B,
I
and
think
C.
that's a one
pure-
scenario. I don't think that's.
It's pure extras.
I don't think that's everybody.
Run.
I don't think that's everybody. I don't think that's everybody. I think some people might receive it, especially if they are genuinely
Like I said, run.
like
Run.
they want to fix it or they want to
Yeah.
apologize. I think I think it's down with you, the person. I feel better letting now. They know and have at it. If you want it, like I said, if you come up to me and whatever. But I think in certain scenarios, it's about you, the person. If the person asks you, if you're like, you definitely don't deserve it, and you actually know why, I know this person didn't know why, because we weren't in that space for him to even understand why I don't.
Because that was not your dog.
Yeah, and and like I said, there's an element of like, is it because I'm in the public eye that you really want this kind of to have that? Oh, I'm friends with them. But even that, in the moment, I'm like, you can have it.
You are in the public eye, so giving people information is worse. Don't confirm nothing.
But it's fine.
Keep
For me, it's fine. For me, it's fine. For me, it's fine. I think
I
do what you need to
Save
do.
your beans, man.
All right. Welcome to Your Aunties Could Never. I'm Auntie AK, the auntie of all the aunties of all the land, and telling the truth sometimes. And
I don't know when you're done now.
I am done. I'm
Are you
looking
done?
at you.
Okay, thanks. I'm Farah, resident Caribbean queen.
And I'm Nana, aka the Black Fairy, aka Dark and Lovely.
And we are joined by some. Burn.
I'm not appreciating this. Yet.
We haven't been humanized once in this one.
Not once.
We're joined by men.
I know what gorillas do.
Joined by the
Anti-black as hell.
I didn't say gorilla.
Oh, wow.
I'm saying the action actually did too. It's very gorilla-like.
Why does it have to be gorilla?
I asked to be humanized.
Because gorillas do that.
I got
Is it only
caveman,
gorilla?
gorilla. I've got cave.
Thank you. Thank you.
But even that's
Oh,
problematic.
great. Yeah, great.
I just said
Oh, great.
I
Caveman.
literally just said it's
Yeah.
problematic.
Who are you? Uncaveman, ungorilla man.
I am Neil Darte Evans. I'm Nana's husband.
You are more than just a husband.
No, we said it before. I'm a husband. I'm a father. And outside of that, I'm searching for my identity.
Oh. And who are you, sir?
I'm Marvin Harrison and I'm disappointed.
What's new? Marvin, why are you disappointed? Why are you asking?
I have the ability
Because-
to use heavy language whenever I choose to, and I choose to at this time. That's how I
She's
feel.
disappointment.
Oh.
Word of the day is disappointment. Mm-hmm. All right, guys, let's get straight into it. It's a quick one. Enemies of progress. My enemy of progress, you guys can take it on whatever you want. Ghana, my homeland, Ghana the Great, is in the bin a little bit because they gave Mr. Beast a chieftaincy title.
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast!
I saw popcorn.
Mr. Beast. Okay, the
And
content
popcorn.
creator, the YouTuber extraordinaire, it'd be like his type of thing. He's a big, rich white man. He does lots of stuff. And he does lots of stuff in Africa to help the community struggling.
No, he wants the cacao. That's what he wants, bro. That's what he's there.
He wants the-
Chocolate.
Yeah, he's going for chocolate.
Yeah, he does a lot in Africa, bro. This is
Anyway, he's been honoured in Ghana as a chief of development
Mm.
after funding a major school rebuild project.
Sorry.
American YouTuber reportedly spent over $1 million transforming a community in Ghana, funding infrastructure and pledging free school lunches until 2030. So in recognition of this contribution, he was given a chieftaincy title.
Wow.
The move has sparked debate about philanthropy. Yeah, sovereignty and a symbolism follow. So, yeah, like, what do you lot think? Because I'm saying Ghana, relax and little peace. There's no need to give chieftaincies to everybody. You can be grateful. I mean, thank you for doing this, Mr. Beast. Does he need to get a spiritual chieftaincy and get a title? He was, and if you've seen the picture, he's up in the garbs.
Mm.
He's got a fringy and a hat, everything. Traditional wear. He's a chief now.
He's a chief.
I hate it when they do that. But I understand why they do for like the village. I get, because you're supposed to pledge that you will look after the village when you get it. And this is what loads of them do. They say,
okay.
we are going to look after you. Da, 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 da. And also that farm around the corner that has all of the cocoa, give that to me as well. And generally, he will probably just be taking resources. But I understand, you know, they also have people that they need to feed and everything else. So. But it's disappointing.
Is he an enemy to you lot?
He is an enemy.
Who's the enemy?
I thought you said Ghana was the enemy.
Ghana, sorry.
No,
Ghana,
And
Ghana.
Mr. Beast is too, because like, do you have to take it? Could he have respectfully?
Yeah, 'cause he's on
I
a mission.
respectfully decline.
No, Mr.
No.
Beast is white. He doesn't even know what it means. He's just like,
He
oh,
doesn't.
I got something crazy. I gave some money. I got access to cacao. I got a little title that I can use in my bio. It's the man. darkest thing ever.
Ghana can't be the enemy to me because they've just. Right.
Okay, we gotta go.
Just don't talk about Ghana.
Coming for
That's
you.
what's
They've
given.
just made it a criminal offence to if you're holding sex from your partner. So I think this is balance. So they could
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah.
What? Are you
Have you
lying?
made that up?
Are you making
No,
it up?
I've
He's
literally
making
posted it
up.
earlier on this
You're
evening.
making it up.
I posted it earlier on this evening.
Clarify
Ghana has said that it's going to become a criminal offence if you are withholding sex from your partner.
My country, Ghana, it's
Yes.
possible.
And so I think this is balance. I think, yeah, they're throwing away
I think that's
titles, but they're
toxic.
also doing good work over here.
Relax.
No, that is
Yeah, I know,
so
no, no, no,
toxic.
progress.
That is so
You're gonna get
toxic.
outrageous.
I told you he says ignorant stuff from time to time.
Listen, that is
Would you?
hella toxic.
Hella problematic.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
You know who is an absolute bumberhole? the owner of Destination Smokehouse
Oh, God, yeah.
that has fired Uncle Tendernism.
Tendernism.
Oh.
He's fired.
He's been fired from his job.
Wait, who are these people?
So do you not know the old black man that he's like, he does the barbecue and it falls off the bone and
Oh,
everybody
okay.
was going mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that place
And then
where
you
he was
throw your
working,
glasses.
That's
he was a
Yes.
worker. Now the man has fired him and Mr. Tendernism has now got a GoFundMe because he wants to set up his own little shop
Oh.
to do his barbecue.
But then at the end of the day, it shortchanges so many other people who built this business, including this guy, who when I met him had absolutely zero. Everybody thinks I'm like the money man. I'm the opposite of that. I came into a business that was losing money that I took over for my family just because I had no other prospects. And that's a whole other thing. Like he said, I don't want to go on all the details of where I started, but when this business was nothing, and he and I came together a year after I took it over and started with the idea of barbecue. Neither one of us thought we were going to be running Destination Smokehouse. We were Destination Coffee Bar, trying to sell a little bit of ribs and a little bit of chicken.
While we're talking,
A question I think everybody been wanting to know is, are you still at Destination Smokehouse?
No, I'm not. I'm not at Destination Smokehouse. I'm with Tendernism now. You know, I had to go on my own, you know, so that way I can do what I have to do. So I don't want nobody to be, it is what it is. You got to move on. When things happen, you don't get mad. Hey, you just take another step. Get glad. Praise the Lord, you're still living. But just, hey, I'm finna tenderize the world now. Hey, they should have never. But it is what it is, y'all. And keep, hey, family out there, y'all keep supporting me. I guarantee you, I ain't gonna do you wrong. Booyah.
good.
No, the owner that is disgusting.
And also,
Everybody was going to this place and now he's
It's
turfed
a win.
out the black man that made it
It's a win.
into a thing.
because I think Keith Lee went round there and tried to give him a $5K tip, and that was where the dispute came. Tried to give him a tip, either $4 to $5K dollars, and the boss was like, "No, he's busy. You can't come and give it to him," or something like that. He stopped the tip to Mr. Tendernism.
There's some circumstances that happened after the fact with other people that he talked to that opened our eyes up to why he probably felt the way that he did. Even the way that he approached it, he didn't ask for anybody else. There's a lot of people visible on social media. To offer a tip to a business owner was crazy. That was the other thing too, is like he really thinks Walt is like this helpless guy who needs his help. How are you going to tip a business owner? Tip the whole staff.
I think I want to give this to Walter.
Okay.
He specifically said his name to ask me a couple of questions. To ask him a couple of questions, I meant to say. That's how he presented it. He didn't say, hey, I want to give y'all this, and in the meantime, can I talk to Walter and Nick or whatever? He literally asked for him only and say he want to give him that amount of money.
Reynaldo or Butcher Bill or someone that's visible, Walter French, anybody else, it would have felt like it was coming from a place that we would have accepted, but we're blessed that we have this following. Yeah, you would have cut it short. Sorry, brother.
Hey, look here. I'd like you to some kind of way, get in touch with him in possibility, tell him when he come back. And hey, look, I'm willing to meet him. I mean, he can call me on the phone number, call me.
And also, I think the guy had trademark tendernism or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God.
And he's now on his socials, like doing the bone stuff, but you can see the white hand. So people are now boycotting.
100%.
Yeah. No.
You know what's crazy? The owner tries to do some videos and it was god awful.
Oh,
He was
really?
Let
Yeah,
these
like,
people
he's like,
crush and burn.
this is easy.
Oh,
Yeah.
What the
He was
basically-
Oh, my
stuttering,
God.
he was
Really?
looking around. He just felt very uncomfortable. Look, I think greed will burn.
Yeah.
I think those type of values burn.
Yeah.
And I think that gentleman, a VC guy, will come up and he will have a nationwide chain within 6 months. And I'm happy for him. I just hope he doesn't get ripped off in the end. And I know people are very money hungry as well. So God bless
That's
him.
what I'm scared. I'm scared for him, you know.
I think a man of that time, I just think I can't see how it ends honorably. Like I remember Salt Bay and what happened to him. And now he's just
And he's bankrupt.
He's bankrupt. And
Oh,
Salt Bay's
wow.
bankrupt.
Is he?
Yeah, like it's all because apparently also all of that, the gimmick, the food was actually wasn't nice.
No, it
After
was
you
terrible.
sprinkled salt, those the
Well, then that's fair enough.
Then they started cutting on the meat and using gold leaf, and gold leaf is it's just mad thing.
That's just a gimmick.
Mm.
It had to end. It's for the best.
Yeah, I, there was rumor that Mr. Tenderness was defending.
Yeah, he was. People in the comments being like, didn't you tell us to piss off? In American words.
Yeah, because he was like, no, don't come for him. He's not doing me
He's
out.
a good man.
He's a good man.
He's a good boss.
He's a good man.
So yeah. Like quickly,
Go.
Jose Mourinho is an enemy of free progress. Do you agree, footballers?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you know why? Why? Because he's facing backlash. Why? Because he appeared to blame or criticize Vinicius Jr.'s goal celebration following allegations of racist abuse. So there was a game, Beneficia's Champions League tie against Real Madrid.
Benfica.
I don't know football.
Beneficial what?
Beneficia.
That's wild.
I don't know.
That's wild.
That's not it.
Beneficial.
I'm a proud non-understander of football. It is what it is.
Okay.
Shoot me. Beat me. I don't care. It's racist anyway. Beneficia. Benefica.
Yeah.
All right. Benefica. Oh, fuck.
Okay, yeah, go on.
They were playing against Real Madrid. I don't know football, okay? All right, let me get to my story. Basically, so Vinicius, he scored or something and he did a celebratory, yay, we win. He did a dance, whatever he did. And then was it Eusebio? No, not Eusebio. What's his name? What's the player's name? I don't know football.
Please, do you know this story? Can you just help her?
I always don't want to because I feel it's so bad.
Please, Prestiani.
Yeah.
Prestiani.
Saying dead people's names.
What's his full name?
God.
Prestiani. Prestiani said,
Help! I know you know this story. Please
Where
help.
are we right now?
Prestiani.
Who is she talking about?
Listen,
I am
Prestiani.
your
No, it's
conscience.
really serious.
You don't know football.
Ignore names.
I'm get it right. Anyway, his
Get to the
surname's
story.
Prestiani, and he went like this: "You monkey son, racist." And so Vinicius, stop it. Vinicius said, "No, that's bad. You are racist," and everyone came out.
That was such a brilliant and thorough rundown of the story.
That was like a Nollywood.
You provided information and angles that I never knew about before, and I thank you for that. Thoroughly.
So in Benfica.
Basically,
In the
it was
beginning,
racism
there was
at first. And
Benfica.
Jose Mourinho, instead of saying, no, this was racism, he came out and said, no, Vinicius, the black guy, is out of order because he should have celebrated.
Mm.
And actually, you antagonized the man, Prestiani, to be racist. Jose Mourinho, you're racist. Is that what
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
You're an enemy.
Can we have a round of applause for her getting to the end?
Yeah.
Bloody
Made it.
hell.
She made it.
Guys, discuss.
Why are you just presuming that we are guys and we like football?
I am.
No, but yeah, Marvin.
I am.
You don't know
I
that.
actually
You don't know
am.
that.
He talks about football all the
I
time.
actually am. Say your
Damn it.
piece.
So
So you know all of what,
And you let me
and you
struggle
know the
through
real
it.
names.
I know. No, you got the names right though.
I did Prestiani.
I think Jose Mourinho was disappointing because he's always been a manager of African players, and and he's been very popular in Africa because of his relationship with their players and developing and making them winners and all of those things and advocating for them actually. But I think it made it clear that his advocating was due to where he was employed rather than
Yes.
the actual right and wrong.
Wants to win.
And I think that humility in accepting that has been tough because he's never been a manager I care for because he's always been on the other side of the teams I love. But I think to see him in that position was just a sad end to a really glittering career, and he won't be seen the same going forward. Yeah, I think that whole situation was really bad, but the actual system worked better than it did for the BAFTAs and the BBC.
Okay, because there's kick it out of football and things like
Well, UEFA suspended him before the return leg.
Okay, press the army.
And so he couldn't play in the next game. And then the goal objective was to then find out more things, which I think they found out. And then there would be an additional fine and ban coming up, which I think is right. But I think Rui Costa, Jose Mourinho, Mark Clattenburg, Mark Clattenburg was the assistant commentator at the time. And he was basically blaming Vinicius Jr. Everyone who did that should have some sort of consequence. You can't sit in a position of broadcasting or and not have any impact after encouraging racism. I think that's something that they need to look at as well.
I agree.
Do I get to do an enemy of progress myself?
Yeah, please go ahead.
I have one that's really been bugging me, right?
Go
And I
on.
tried to discuss this on TikTok, but I couldn't really get the Vim out in time. So I think what happened with the BAFTAs and the BBC went through multiple journeys, but the one journey that disappointed me above and beyond BAFTA and the BBC are the black people who behave like slave catchers for the harmed and hurt black people who were just upset that the experience had happened. So I think one of the coldest things you can do. One of the coldest things you can do is like look at an aggrieved black person who's harmed by experiencing the hard R in public and have it reverberate around the world, and then see them in psychosis and then look at them with disdain and disappointment and publicize that, right? And platform yourself. There's a lot of black academics, and I think there's a difference between black academics and black intellects. Black academics, they normally read about black culture and their intellects can talk to you about black culture, but it's not experience-led, right? And I think when you're from inside out the black culture, you understand that even if you're saying something incorrect, I can talk to you in a way that acknowledges just how you feel, even if you're incorrect. I think there were people who were talking about Dr. Shola Shabomanu in a way that I just didn't rate. I thought it was disgraceful. Now
Explain.
So Dr. Shola Shabomanu was talking about the intentions of the perpetrator and saying it's in his heart, it's in his head, right? As a result, right? Which was incorrect, right?
Speak on. So was it John Davidson, who's got Tourette's, who's screamed out the N-word during the BAFTAs. People have been debating whether his Tourette's, why he went to racist terminology, understanding corporelia, that version of Tourette's, which causes you to say racial slurs. Dr. Shola came out and was quite forthright and aggressive in her accusation that he must be racist.
Yes.
Continue.
The way people were talking about her, like she's disposable, like she's nothing, like she's grifted, or whatever the conclusion that they come to, I thought was beyond the reach, right? If you're from blackness, you can reach someone like Dr. Shola Shabomanu, you can communicate to her, you can educate her, or you can talk to her even through your videos in a way with integrity, right? Standing there and acting like everybody's dumb for not getting it, for me, is anti-blackness, right? And I think a lot of black academics are anti-black in how they use their academia to interact with black people. It's not done with love. It's not done to educate. It's there to platform that I'm the smart black. And I think often when you look in those people's comments, you see the kind of people that are agreeing with you, and they're using you as a platform to marginalize those people further. This is not to diminish the John Davison and his Tourette's and what his experience is, and what we understand now. It's not to diminish that. I understood that, but I don't stand there at the beginning and be like, I knew it in the beginning, and you guys who didn't know it are bigoted, and start throwing names at other black people, because irrespective of the intellectualizing of it afterwards, the fundamental reality is we had to observe the hard R expressed out loud, right? And not everybody has the luxury and privilege of information to know things while still being activated and triggered. We just talked about Clifton Powell, or we have talked about Clifton Powell between us. And when he's activated, you cannot sit there and then just start throwing more titles at him, right? And I think when black people are speaking to each other, we should do it with more grace and love, and to each other, not at each other with our platforms and dishonor.
That's what I would have loved, yeah. So I had toyed with adding Dr. Shola to the list to discuss how that all came about. What she said, for one, thoroughly disagree with, but the manner in which she said it as well. And then I give her that because this is what she does. And I don't necessarily like her content as well. But I don't like a lot of people's content. Doesn't mean anything. I hated that she went on Piers Morgan and allowed Piers to basically denigrate her. And I hate that that is a space that people go on. And it kind of affects us as black people as well. When you go to a play, I think it's on like 2 million views. I would have preferred she had that conversation with black folk. If you are going to do an apology, to do your apology on Piers Morgan, I think is insane. And that annoys me, and I find it offensive.
So you're right? But then I think where her choice of platform is, she already speaks to us. We already hear her. We already have alignment with her. She's 98% right most of the time. Like her hit rate is like 98% in terms of.
I don't think it's right.
Even if you say 80, right? She has a higher than average hit rate in terms of the takes that she does, and creates a cultural norm and understanding amongst people who do not understand us at times. So even if you do get it wrong, the actual, for me, the protocol internally in Blackness is to address the person directly. When you start engaging and putting your platform and platforming yourself like you're smarter than everybody, then I know you don't get this, right? So from my perspective, she's allowed to be wrong when your hit rate is so high, and there is a way that we can hold her to account without like platforming against her.
And seemingly aligning.
So that's my personal view of how we should engage each other. My concern is that we didn't then channel the energy in the right place. So even those people who were holding her to account didn't keep that energy for the platform. They didn't organize anything to say, this is how we're going to address this and where it should be focused on, right? So because I got it right, it doesn't make me a better person. Do you understand? And I think that's where I feel we often get it wrong between us, and it creates more divide than not. She's a good value asset to the conversations that are happening around us. She's hella articulate. I don't even know her that well, but I know her well enough that if I really felt a way, I could probably get a hold of her and say how I feel, or I could talk to her through my videos. But what I would never do is act like and use language like bigot and demean her publicly as a result of this being something that she now regrets that she said. I think
I understand what you're saying, and I get it because I think we discussed it. Then there's the other side of it, because then if you are a respected person who has a following of people behind you that you represent and you're valued for that, and you make such a heinous mistake, a quick mistake, where in your professionalism and expertise that people trust and value for, you made such a wild mistake in that, especially because you do have the doctor in front of your name, whether you're a doctor of science, this, that, the other, there's a doctor that affords respect. Then for you to make that quick mistake without doing your research, and then having people back you in that, and then other people like, oh, actually, there's this reality to what actually it is, then if people emote and backlash in their natural state of reaction, isn't that then not fair? Because the minute we are out here saying something in public, I definitely agree with you, though. I do agree with you, but I just want to give space to, if you make a mistake and you let down the people that uphold you all the time.
There's no such thing as letting anybody down.
No, but
the question is,
from my point of view.
It's a very short sentence. Am I talking to you, or am I talking at you and about you? They're fundamental different tools.
How can you tell?
But as a community, if we're talking at her and about her,
sure.
For me, that's degrading, right?
Yes.
I'm saying that she can be wrong, and I would tell her she's wrong.
You will, because you have a line to her.
No, but anyone can say you're wrong. What I didn't like is the name calling that came about, right?
Yeah.
And it became anti-black in its own action.
Yeah. Okay, I agree.
I do agree with that, and I think that she is a very useful source, and that she's important.
Yeah,
in the community. I will say that. I think where people were disappointed is because they did, rightly or wrongly, there was an expectation from her to be a little bit more understanding of what actually has happened, and what you're saying about name calling. She was guilty of name calling herself, and it's fine that she's come out now and apologized about it, but she made the mistake. Like, we all are in spaces where we are heard. We cannot just come out and just start saying shit, and her platform 10 times bigger than ours, right? You have to kind of take some accountability, again, we're using that word, about what you're going to say. Like, we spoke about it, and we said that you can feel disappointed and hurt that the hard R was used, because we're fucking human.
Yeah.
And that word's been used to demoralize us like for fucking centuries, yeah? So we can feel that, but we can also feel empathy as well for what he went through. And now we know more, right? But to come out and call this guy a racist and say that it must be in his heart, that was wrong of her.
Yes,
And I
but,
think the reaction that
we-
some people have felt from that is valid because they value her as a source of information. And it's like, okay, I'm now hurt by what you've said. There are black people with Tourette's that are now hurt from what she said because they looked at her for guidance. Rightly or wrongly, she's out there helping people, isn't she? So I agree with you. Let's not tear each other down, but it's understandable for why some people felt the way they did about it.
But when you're being used by whiteness as a tool to tear her down further, something's gone left.
Yeah, but then going on Piers, isn't that somewhere the same thing?
It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing. I'm saying if you're now, if I create a video, my content is now where 50,000 white people are now like, yeah, look, see how a bad person you are, and they're using that as a context, taking my language to use against her, then I'm saying that that's anti-blackness, and I don't think that's appropriate.
Okay,
I'm saying she can be wrong, right, and still be protected. She's still worthy of protection while being
absolutely.
wrong. And what I'm saying is I don't feel like that happened. I felt like it was go to the wolves, and I don't know if it's an element of jealousy or just like you don't have a respect for her, you don't care for her, or whatever the reason why. But for me, that's mad problematic.
But then also I was going to say then, in that respect, if you value her, we value her, other black people might not value her in the same way. They might not.
That's absolutely fine.
And so that's where then someone would feel free, because I would never.
I can call you a slave catcher at the end of it, though. And I will call you a slave catcher at the end of it.
But what if their Dr. Shola is, I'm trying to think, an equivalent black that is of her caliber, of her nature, of her stature, speaks for black, but like they don't like particularly how she does things. So are they still a slave catcher?
No, listen, Kemi Badenoch has said things that makes me want to spit on the floor with fury, right? But there's a certain level of engagement of how I would talk about her. I'd rather talk to her directly, even if she's not listening, than I would to be able to take what my words are and have a whole bunch of white people now berating her using my language and framing of her, right? So I hear you. That's your value system. But I'm saying for me, what you end up creating is language that then gets used against you anyway.
How can we doing that shit by herself?
Yes. How can we control what other people? Because that's then policing black, the non-monolithic thing of what it is to be black. Because it's very hard to navigate. Because if someone's doing something so egregious to us as black people, but the code of, because that's why people then get away with doing heinous shit, because then we don't speak. And I do agree with you.
It to us.
No, but
I think Kemi Badenoch's more culpable of doing things to us than Dr. Shola is culpable of doing things to us.
Well, I think it's different, but I'm saying that everyone's different, because that's not Kemi Badenoch. Dr. Shola could be someone else's Kemi Badenoch.
Afforded that in my worldview, because Kemi will sell all of the black folks out here and take off.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. But I know that when that language is created for Kemi Badenoch, one day someone will use that language for one of you two, right? And because you feel there's a separation, it's not the same.
Listen.
No, I'm saying
she is creating. Let's not even use her as an example, because she's creating language herself that is harmful to us. She's out there fucking talking daily,
absolutely,
in ways that are harmful.
But it doesn't change
us.
Your reality, right? Because the connection between her likeness on in the platform that she has and your likeness, there is no separation. If you believe that, we talk about non-monolith, right? We are all different internally, but externally we are going through similar experiences of how we're perceived. So if I create a narrative around my own lived experience, I can't then be like, I'm not black, I'm OJ, and I stand over here and I'm separate. We are all one in terms of perception, especially in a minoritized country. So specifically when you're creating language about the black experience, it can be used against you at any given time. So if you're the architect of that, I don't think it's wise to be an architect of that. We all know when we talk about Kemi Badenoch how we feel, and in the safety of our conversation, we can go to town because fuck that shit, right?
Based on what you're saying, and we must wrap up, but based on what you're saying, we do Enemy of Progress, and we've criticized Kemi Badenoch.
She belongs in the bin.
I'm always going to criticize
she belongs
her.
in the bin.
It's harmful to black people. 100%. I actually feel like this is we're heading into coonerism territory, when as black people we cannot call out a black person that is harmful to us. No, we have to be and we can use whatever language we want. I can call her a coon, a coconut, an Uncle Tom, all of that shit, because she is.
But what happens when that is created for you?
But I'm not going to be that. The language is there.
No, but
anyway,
I'm saying, by whose definition?
It in the right direction to somebody like
Yes,
Femi
but
Bello.
you're talking about the nuance of understanding the language, right? I'm saying once I start using coon and all these other languages out in the world, that then gets created for any one of us at someone's discretion. So I'm saying I don't normalize the N-word because I don't want no one to call me the N-word, right? So I'm saying
that also doesn't stop people from calling you.
No, it doesn't stop them, but I'm saying I'm not creating it.
Yeah.
I won't be the architect of the reason why someone can sit there and find new language to denigrate another black person. So what I'm saying in terms of like her particularly, it's like we understand who she is and we know who she is. It's not that you can't challenge her, right? I'm saying talk to her. Even through your talk to her and talk to her about what she's creating for you and what that means. It's different to talking about her and mocking her and creating names for her. I feel that you're creating the conditions for that to be applied to more other black people, and I think that can be dangerous.
That is the label of them.
It's slightly shifting a little bit. What I do think is like the wider problem is the rush, and we spoke about this earlier on in the week, the rush to get stuff out there.
Yes.
So if she wasn't so hell-bent on getting, I'm going to talk on this thing,
now
you could have taken the time to learn.
Yeah.
And then now what you say makes sense, and then you don't have to then take yourself on Piers and then allow Piers to berate you. And I think this is what's happening to social media, where everybody's like, because obviously monetization, blah, 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 what have you, everybody's rushing to get their piece out, and it's like, where's the integrity?
Yeah, and accountability.
I feel like that is a part of it, that Dr. Shola came out quickly. And what you're saying would hold water if she didn't herself do her apology on Piers Morgan for Piers to basically tear her down. Now, if she, by going on Piers and apologizing, and exactly what he did was everything you have said is just fluff and fern. You get things wrong. You say, I get things wrong, Dr. Shola. Like, it was like he basically
got down who she was.
What I would have preferred
But he wasn't
her to
interested
do,
in an apology.
No.
And this is the same as the other black creators that were bringing her down as well. It's like you're all playing in the same pool of piss. It would have been better because there are those of us that do respect what she does. You have a conversation with us.
Yeah.
Like when she did her live and she did it with
was it Danny on it?
No, it was the other guy,
Julian, what's his name?
Jupiter?
Yeah.
Jupiter. She did it with
that's
Jupiter.
it. That's who was
and
on
it was like,
Yeah,
that was a
nothing.
conversation. And I would have preferred if she was going to have conversations with people, it was like that. Going to Piers, to me, it's just a cesspool. So they're all a part of the same thing. It feels like a grift. That's what it feels like. And when people are out here grifting, do your thing because you're all... then our humanity becomes a sales pitch.
But I think that's what I'm saying. Everything you just said, if we had filmed it and put it out, would have been lit. You didn't say anything crazy, nothing that was out of line, nothing that was wrong, right? But if you turn around and call her a bigot, right, and start calling her names, that's a different energy. So I'm saying, in everything you said, there's 100 things to learn, and that is appropriate.
There are some things
and
that
it's
are true,
appropriate to share with someone like
her. To call her a bigot is incorrect. To call Kemi a coon is not. I'm sorry. She's a coon.
I mean, it's
and the thing is, that's your choice of words. I understand energetic transfer and what language creates, right? So I have my own internal personal rules about how I speak about people. Why, right? Sure. What I'm saying to you is, you said everything you said, and it was the sickest thing ever. And it lands just as it is, right? And it's powerful. It's us talking about someone in our community that had a negative impact for all of us, right? Yeah. And you're able to hold that person to account, and it works. What I'm saying is what other people were doing was taking it way beyond into a dark space.
Okay, I'm not going to get excused to that, but at the same time, if someone says you're a bigot and they believe that, because they have no other vocabulary and that they know what they know and they're limited by what they know, and they say you're a bigot because that's what we think they understand bigot is.
This is where my condemnation of black academics who know a lot of words, right, but can't move people.
Was it only academics that said that? Was it people in the comments?
I'm speaking to the academics that I observed. They can't move nobody. Nobody follows you because you say lots of smart stuff, but you say nothing powerful, right? You're not moving the consciousness of our community. You're not taking no one nowhere. You're not building anything. Your job is to do mental gymnastics online, sound really, really smart, get lots of applause, have white people in your comments saying, you're so amazing, while you just denigrate other black people, but you're not building shit, right? That's what I hold them to account to.
Those people, I understand that.
Yes.
Anything just quickly on Amanda Seales, and she said that Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo should have kicked drops or done more of a protest in the moment.
Yeah. My cousin says a lot at the moment. Yeah, I don't always agree with her.
Well, you know who also has been causing waves? London Hughes.
Oh yeah,
Basically saying Black Brits, we don't stand for anything properly. So you know, basically she was like, the Black Americans are going to have to sort this out because Black Brits were lily-livered. This is why the BBC and BAFTA can do this shit to us, because we don't stand for nothing.
Yeah.
She's been standing up and standing
I mean,
up
she
since
did
2020.
she did come with her receipts, but what I will say is similar to what you were saying earlier on, like when the Glastonbury thing happened and then you got the Jewish blah, 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 is we don't have that. Yeah. And so they're not scared.
It's not an organisation.
They're not. So Dawn Butler wrote a letter. That's not going to.
Yeah. No, but we hammered her for it though. I saw more comments hammering her for it in terms of removing of the N-word from public discourse than I saw supporting it, right? So I again, you're right, we don't have a headline brand, but I can tell you how many things that we fundamentally have changed in conversations, how many letters have been written that have resulted in people losing their jobs, policies changing, laws changing. I do that work all the time. So I don't want to, maybe because you don't see it and we're not sitting there being like, look what we've done today, right? But also we understand that some of that stuff comes with a risk, right? If you become too visible, too powerful, too impactful, 100%. Then all of a sudden things start happening. So it's really important that we don't dishonor the work that is happening just because you don't see it, but loads of it is happening. And then the impact directly does improve your outcomes.
Very true. That's where I stand on it, because you actually don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
I just hated it that she's in America saying this, and really it just felt very, I don't know, it rubbed me up the wrong way. Like really her being like, yeah, but Black Brits, you don't do anything. Like you got to go to America. And it's like, well, people do have careers over here as well. Not everybody leaves and goes. Like America isn't the great savior. It felt strangely British.
Yeah,
there was something in it.
London Hughes. So London Hughes did Sunday Show, right? She was our game show host right at the beginning of her career, right? She was absolutely exceptional and way too talented for the spaces that we had, right? And she probably is too big for the UK market in terms of what her skill set is. She has gone and proven that. But again, her relation to what happens, what's going on, what's here is still limited for a very particular prism from a very particular time. So if she doesn't know, even if she's speaking powerfully, she just doesn't know, right?
And I think
we can move through that and we don't have to overly analyze what she doesn't know.
And generationally, there have been Black activists in the UK fighting. So I love you, London, but I just think that was a bit of a mad take, because that really shits on the work that lots of British Black people have done over the years.
And still do.
And we're dealing with a different beast. We don't have the same numbers as America. So it's a different thing, but there are people. Me and I had today is activism. So, all right, guys. That has been your answer.
Before we go, Nigel Farage in the bin.
Oh, I mean, always. Always in the bin.
For a multitude of reasons.
And then big up the Green Party.
Oh, yeah.
Big up the Green Party.
Welcome to the family.
He's literally saying that they cheated.
Yeah.
No, so is kid.
No.
They're all
the Trump behaviour.
Pussy homes.
Oh. Yeah. Welcome to the family, the Green Party. And that's it. Keep safe and enemy free. Lots of love and hugs from your favourite aunties and uncles.
Bye.
Fabulous. Thank you.
One time I saw you guys were talking about this topic here and I misheard the whole conversation. And I heard you mention something about we thought about having an open relationship. And the way I went to go call you both. What's going on? What's happening? What's happening?
Yeah, that way. That's not happened.
Marvin.
What are we discussing today?
But I just went there.
I should have
started it.
No, but what are we discussing?
I'm going to get into it. I'm just saying we had a little...
You have.
No, what did you say? Whoa, wait, what happened?
Now, look, this is an auntie special. The reason why these strapping lovely men are here, not to talk about multifaceted relationships.
We should talk about that one day, though.
We should.
Bring some people in and we will. Can learn some stuff.
And we could. Not today. Okay. All right, this is a special auntie venture because I don't know if you guys saw the viral clip of the OG actor Clifton Powell getting into it with Joseph Irwin, and they were shouting about, he was saying that he just found love in his 60s, and that Joseph was like, there's no excuse to be old and just only understanding how to find love. We can bring this conversation here and look at how Black men and women can interact on a higher plane.
Yeah.
And bring the world together and sort out our issues. If they're
better. Be better people.
Yeah.
It was a very, very good conversation, though. I like that.
Yeah.
Intergeneration. And also having the gay men there, straight men, some that are like, I'm not monogamous, some that are like, you should be monogamous. It was a good
It was
combo.
a really good conversation.
Yeah.
When Clifton Powell was getting really animated, the reason why I was so passionate when I spoke to you that day is because, like, in inter-male conversations gives you the privilege of wisdom to know where he's at. What he doesn't need in that moment, right, is what he got, which was judgment, yelling, using his stories as examples, and all the whole performative element of it was so disappointing because in my male spaces, that would have been intercepted immediately and stopped because it became his show rather than a discovery of a 70-year-old man who we're all going to be one day, if we even make it that far, God, Lord willing. And we missed an opportunity to hear his discovery for ourselves, to save ourselves 30 years of hardship, right?
So I do think when you bottle something up and you explode, the people who you've just been like letting dump their shit on you, they never understand when you explode. No. And for them, it's about that moment. And for you, it's about 50.
Relatable content.
Yeah. But it's true.
Relatable.
It's on the tip of your tongue.
I feel really strongly, right?
Yeah.
That even in the framing, it's still dehumanizing. Like, I'm a human being because I am. Observing me and seeing my humanity, my nuance, my anger, my rage, my sadness, my disappointment isn't for you to do anything. It's not your job to fix, right? But observing and understanding that it comes as a result of what I face as a black man trying to be, right, is the only thing that I can ask. Not even ask, but hope for, right? I think that there is a desire to fix. And I think if I was to listen to what your example just there, that was fixing.
Yeah.
And I think the invitation is that there's a heaviness going on. The time on the phone where you listen to me talk through my stream of consciousness is the richest thing ever, right? I don't care.
Do you genuinely don't? Do you genuinely don't care?
So I used to care.
Yeah.
And I think it's taken me a while to get to this space. But I'm like, I can only do what I can do. Yeah, I can't. What I have learned is I cannot change anybody. I cannot change anybody. So as much as I may want to, the best I can do is say how I'm feeling in the moment. After that, it's on you. And if I then decide that I can't be around something or what have you, then that's on me. But I think I said it to you the other day. Like, I'm in my Danny Glover era. Lethal Weapon is that I'm too old.
Too old for this.
I hear that.
You know what I mean? It's like, I think historically, you know, if you think about lad culture as well, like, you can be like, yeah, done that one. And it's always been a good thing. People will talk about the master key opening all the doors, not the other way around. And
I've never heard that one in my life.
Oh, surely.
The master key opening all the doors.
So I can't remember what the analogy is properly, but it's about...
He goes in holes, the holes don't go in him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why when a woman...
Oh, I just got it. Yeah.
Have you guys really ever heard that?
I kind of, but not in that way.
I'm new to this. Go on.
Okay. Some of the missus is in the room.
Yeah, look at him being golden boy.
This is what I've heard. This is what I've heard.
So
Yeah, I have had relationships with people before, and they've done things that have and it's friendships, right? They've done I can't name a shame, but they've done things that have hurt me because of their response to something, and I've had to let them know, but not in a way where it is shaming them. It's just having a calm, cool conversation, not in the moment even when they've done it, like going back to it later, and not in 1985 you did this thing, not like that, but just having a cool and calm conversation with them and explaining to them how what they did in that moment made me feel, so they're able to understand it, because equally there may be things that I've done in the past as well at that time.
In the frustration, how does that, because that can be it to the point it can hurt me and make me feel so repressed.
Yeah, I'm probably not the one to ask, because I've just learned to live with it. So, but then what I've also done is, like, when I'm feeling that way, and then I'll go away and sit with it, and then it's like I'll weigh it up, and then be like, is this something that I really want to make a thing of, or not? And 90% of the time, I'm like, or not. I just need my moment to sit in whatever shit it is, and then maybe separate myself for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then come back.
Does that person then get away with it? And is that okay? So on the back of that, because we had a back and forth about that, and just for everyone, there's a few things. How do you apologize without defensiveness? And how do you accept correction without shutting down? Because that moment was a lot, and that's the moment that went viral. For those of you who saw it, Clifton Powell, the actor, got into it with Joe Irvin, and it was a back and forth. And Joe Irvin did the most. I think he did the most in his attack, but he was also carrying weight of, on behalf of us women, thank you, the sadness and the pressure.
He was.
Well, I mean,
no.
I'm saying that was.
But that was
I was being sarcastic.
That was the source that he added
into it, but it was his trauma.
Think about all of the women.
Yeah.
But really, that was
think about my mum
having a conversation with his dad.
Yes. So all of that.
That was a father and son convo that they weren't having.
That blow up happened. Then Clifton, for quite a long while, was in defense mode.
Mm-hmm.
And some might say rightly so. But then also in that, me understanding that pain, where that pain came from, as well from Joe, because Joe was shouting in pain no matter how he did it. Clifton stayed in defensiveness. So how do we hear criticism?
I saw it different. I didn't see him in defense. I saw him in shame.
Or shame.
It was
either way.
It was...
Yeah.
Who, Clifton?
Yes.
Either way.
He had shared something, a new discovery. As I was watching it, I was like, oh, he's like a new Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know, when they find God and everything.
They want to preach to everybody. They're the best Christian ever.
The love is swimming around.
Yeah.
And he was in that moment. And I really needed Young Buck to just sit there and hear him. Whatever you were thinking, just let this man get it off, because he's changing. He's literally turning into his new butterfly. And that's really vulnerable.
Yeah.
He is 70. That's really vulnerable. And then to have, you're still not doing it right, is you're swimming in shame. So that's why he couldn't shut up. Because that's
he wanted
ego.
To clear
Ego is, let's get back.
Mm-hmm.
So then he has to keep on interjecting. And then I just felt awkward and prickly. And I'm watching it, I'm like, this is really, I wanted somebody in that space to save it.
Yeah.
but they can't. I know. I just wanted it to.
The lack of facilitator to me tells me that the space was never going to be healthy. Also, I don't think it's appropriate for a black woman to host a room full of black men in service of them without the appropriate structures in place. I think that's what created that particular moment.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have a viral clip of a man basically losing his grounding publicly, and it now just lives out there, right? So that's not taking care, that's not looking after your guests. So when we talk about building trust is creating a space that's genuinely safe.
Sure.
And she didn't do that. The mission was so focused on what we need for black women. She didn't think about what black men needed to be able to be of service to black women. So for me, that's where it went wrong.
Yes. So is Clifton free from accountability in anything in that moment, because he was the vulnerable one?
No, but Clifton is Clifton.
I think I understand. Oh, okay, go on.
But that's what I mean by, we can all sit there and discern what you process from him, right, is as much love as you owe him, right? I see you. Yeah. But your job is not to go into his life and be like, let me be a part of this and help you. And he does all those things to you instead, right? So I think that's what we mean by, we see that particular archetype of man. He said his dad was born in 1915. He said his grandfather was a slave, right? So understanding the context of who he was and who men were up until 1996, or whenever we decided that we could be more, right, is to respect his journey and where he's gone through, which in his world is as big as everybody else around the table talking about what the role of women need to be and what healthy looks like, and going to do checkups and tests and going to therapy. That's our growth, right? And I think it's really important to honor people's journeys individually and see them for who they are, rather than this collective of I'm sorry, I'm so disappointed by that.
What you're saying, yes, but what you're saying, would he also have that responsibility to take into account that young boy, with his years of experience and maybe seeing different generations and versions of men in their weaknesses and vulnerabilities, whoever he is as Clifton Powell, did he have a responsibility to see that boy where he was coming from? Because he was fighting for as you said, I do
I
see
don't
the
think
shame.
you could.
I know he couldn't. I'm just well then
You can't.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's one of the fundamental things that I learned when I really started to look into what shame does and how shame shows up for me. I don't have the capacity when I'm swimming in it because I'm swimming in a pool of emotion that I can't see straight. So he can't. Maybe that's what he can do with his therapist. When he watches it and he goes back home and talks to his missus about it, is then to be able to process, okay, so this is what this guy was saying. But in that moment, what Joe was trying to get out of him, he's not, you're not going to get it. You're basically just shouting for the sake of like making a show. I really felt like he was doing Showtime.
He was doing Showtime. Yeah. Well, I was going to say, okay, then as in that, I don't know if you watched it, but just on a general terms, how do we as women challenge harmful behavior without shaming? Because sometimes it's like
that's not your job. It's not your job to worry about the shame if you are the victim of somebody's behavior.
But then if that means then Joe just did what Joe did then.
But Joe wasn't the victim of anything.
No, but Joe was not the victim of anything.
But he's carrying his trauma, so his trauma is
yeah, but that's separate. That he didn't happen to Clifton didn't do it to him. He's not retaliating.
No, but he's still showing his trauma.
Yeah, but then I'm saying in that he's wrong.
Fine, I'm not saying but he's still that came from trauma. Even though it was misplaced, he tried to say on behalf of women, it came from trauma. So I'm saying in the same thing, because he spoke on behalf of women, I'm saying to a woman, like, how do we then, because it could be paid. I could shame a man and call him out, and then he feels shame. But how do I then show up without even feeling like I'm tempering down my feelings? Because I'm hurt, I'm vulnerable, I'm angry, you fucked me over in whatever capacity.
But it depends on your proximity and if you want the relationship to continue. If a guy does something, you owe him nothing. If you want someone in your life, then you do want to do it without shame. You want to do it with skill.